Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kaga. Today I have a viewer request video for you all. This request comes courtesy of Destroyer Hatsushimo. This is on the Furutaka. In World of Warships, the Furutaka is the Tier 5 Japanese cruiser, and it is the first of the Japanese heavy cruisers. Armed with its signature 6 8-inch guns in 6 single-mounted turrets, and a couple clutches of torpedoes with one launching on each side, the Furutaka is certainly a challenge for most people to play. In fact, most people would tell you that you'd be better off playing it like a battleship more so than a cruiser. And this means staying a little bit farther back and just peppering things as they come up, primarily with your AP, and switching to HE when all else fails, or if you're being engaged by a destroyer. And while this certainly does get the job done, we can do better, can't we? That's completely neglecting our torpedoes, one of the primary strengths of the Japanese heavy cruisers, in that they all have this very nasty punch which can level the playing field against any vessel that can choose to engage them at close range. One of the challenges of the Japanese heavy cruiser line is that you actually have these torpedoes. It's very tempting to do something insanely ill-advised, borderlining stupid, to make use of these torpedoes. There are times when this is advised and other times when it's ill-advised. In this particular match, and I have chosen this match specifically because both instances are there, there's a instance where it is an advised strategy to use, and a instance where it was exactly the wrong play to do, but I'm not going to spoil the catch-22 I found myself in. So we found ourselves, looks like a tier 5 maximum match on Big Race, and I start off in the northwestern extents of the map, and I very clearly want to stay clear of the destroyer infested bay there, from the F and G areas in that box in the formed by FG through 4 and 5 columns. So I'm going to head up to the east here, try to make use of this large open expanse of water to put these nice, relatively slow turning 8-inch guns to work, and if someone's stupid enough to get close enough to me, I can use the torpedoes around these islands. At least that's the plan. So I see our New York is getting repulsed by a Phoenix, an Omaha, and a Congo at the very least. It doesn't look like that Kuma is in firing range. So I begin turning out here, as I don't really want to get too stuck into it right now. Part of the secret in making the Furutaka really sing in battle is not getting stuck in too soon. You want to pick the battle that you are most able to maximize the efficiency that you trade damage with the enemy, because if one, you're in a cruiser, you don't have a great amount of health, at least in comparison to some things on the match, like the battleships. You don't have the armor of the battleships, and unlike the comparable American cruisers, you don't have the rate of fire to overcome that difference. So you really need to focus on what is the best opportunity for you, and take opportunity shots initially, as you see me doing right now with high explosive rounds on this Tenryu in the cap. And I'm choosing the Tenryu to target rather than the Wix for the primary reason that he's an easier target to hit at the moment. But I see that the Wix is not maneuvering a lot, so I'm going to take a couple opportunity shots here, and nope, we don't pick up anything. He drops into smoke, probably slowed down. So I leave the periscope view just in time to notice that my ship is steaming straight towards the cape of this island, and I manage to turn out just in time to manage missing the edge of the island, and I pass in such a way that I don't hit the allied Myogi. I spot the enemy Nicholas on the far eastern part of the map along the 1 line, and I decide that it's time to turn around because I believe that that Nicholas could, in theory, start giving the battleships we have, the New York, the other Myogi, and the Wyoming, living hell if I don't turn around to deal with him. Being careful to watch the cap circle for any opportunity shots that I might have while trying to position myself to screen our battleships against that Nicholas. I'm looking for shots, I don't find any, but instead we can find a nice shot against that Nicholas because he decided to remain visible, or he didn't decide to remain visible, but he just kept deciding to not steer out from that Wyoming. We put a few shots into him, get some crits of fire and some other shell damage, put him in his place a little bit. Nope, looks like he got sunk by our Wyoming. I think it was by the Wyoming. So right now I've got high explosive loaded, and I'm pondering to see if I have any shots against those cruisers or anybody in the cap circle. I don't see anybody. It's probably the remaining enemy destroyer, but I turn in. I'm doing this primarily to get closer into the cap if I have to make the reset. And as a general tip to the audience here today, if you want to improve your stats it doesn't really matter whether we're talking World of Warships or World of Tanks, you need to understand that when you queue up in a random battle, the only person's actions that you can really have any effect on the battle are your own. You really should never rely on your allies to make the strategic decisions that they really should. So if you have the opportunity to reset a cap, you really should do that. And right now I'm searching for a shot on that Wyoming, but with the slow turning turrets of the Furutaka and the collision alarm going off, I decided it's not worth running aground on that boulder that in reality would probably sink me. So I decide to bring my turrets to bear on the Congo that I know is going to be coming around there, and oh crap, there he is, and he's almost on full health. So without wasting any time getting all of the turrets on to bear, I put what shots I can on there, pick up a few thousand damage, and I instantly turn the bow of my ship straight at him. The goal of this is, and I'm going to be trying to maintain this posture against him, because it minimizes the silhouette that he can hit my vessel, meaning that with the dispersion of battleship guns currently in World of Warships, this reduces the chance that he can citadel me, and as you just saw, it minimizes the chance that he can hit me at all. And it also does one other thing. The shots that he can hit on the hull of my vessel are more likely to ricochet off because they're hitting at such oblique angles with respect to the normal of the armor plate that they're hitting against. This means that they're more likely to ricochet off, and you're going to see that this doesn't just happen with his primary guns, which are firing armor piercing, I'm more than willing to bet, but also the secondary guns, which are firing high explosive. And as you can see, I'm faking him out into thinking that I am going to ram him, but when it comes right down, we seal the deal with a clutch of torpedoes right into the center line of his ship, taking off most of the health he had. We circle around him, his turrets cannot keep up, and between the flooding and some of the fire damage we've managed to inflict on him and some remaining high explosive shells, we pick up an enemy Congo. And this demonstrates how you should do, or how you should engage enemy battleships one-on-one in the Furutaka. And I must emphasize this works only one-on-one. There are instances, and you're going to see one instance where, in a little bit, where I am forced to do this against a different battleship, and it's not going to let me walk away from it. That's called foreshadowing. So right now we're looking for some opportunity shots against the Omaha. I know those aren't going to hit, but it might cause him to get a little flustered. So I'm expecting to engage the Omaha, so I switch ammunition to my armor-piercing shells, and I begin to swing the turrets around to deal with him. And you can see how slow some of these turrets turn, and this is with the captain's skill, and I do believe the ship modification for turret speed enhancement. How bloody slow these things can get. So I put 2 shots in there to test my lead, put them right there in the center of the vessel. There it's a little high to Citadel. I drop it down just a little bit, advance the lead just a tad bit because he's now straightening out and he should be going a little faster. Plant another 2 shells just a little high for a Citadel. Ah, my luck. My luck. And that's something that you're going to have to get used to with these 8-inch guns, is that there is a little bit more... Well, let me rephrase that. These guns are not as forgiving towards misreads of enemy movement or misleads and placing their shots against enemy vessels. At least not as forgiving as, say, the 6-inch guns on most light cruisers like the Kuma or the... Oh, the Kuma's got 140mm guns. What am I saying? Like the 6-inch guns like on the Cleveland or perhaps the Omaha. So I've already switched to the high explosive ammunition at this point because I was expecting that Wyoming to come around, and there'd be nothing more beneficial to me to get him to use his damage control ability as I try to come around here and give him a face full of torpedoes. At this point, I'm trying to do a rinse and repeat of what I did earlier with that Congo, and it should be doable. However, I had fully anticipated that Omaha that you're going to see... Oh, there is his shells, peppering me in the side. Not either being in range or him being out of position to engage me, and you can see that he is now firing his armor-piercing ammunition and just managed to knock out my engine. I have to put that back into action immediately. I cannot afford a loss of mobility in this maneuver because of what is going to happen to me if I am left out in the open, unable to fire back against this Wyoming. At this point in the match, this is my Banzai charge. I am going to take this person out, even if it sinks me. And there's the fire, lose a gun, lose engines. I need to swing the vessel out to the side to get the torpedoes out, and at this range, good luck dodging it. Good luck. And as you can see, bye-bye, thanks for playing. And as you can see, we got taken out. Oh, it was a Phoenix that took us out. Wow, bad memory. But yeah, we totally could not play this any other way. Being taken out by that Phoenix was preordained the moment I passed beyond the cape of that island. And you're probably wondering why I say that. And you're probably going to say, well, why didn't you just turn around? And the answer is quite simple. Those 6 turrets on the Wyoming fire enough shells that the giant floating citadel, that is the Furutaka and most Japanese heavy cruisers for that matter, going broadside to those guns is a very bad idea. It's very likely, especially at that distance, that I'd have been sunk anyway to massive numbers of citadels, or citadel penetrations rather, and having done nothing other than just get sunk. At least by steaming around forward, I take out a pretty dangerous enemy battleship that could stall our forces for a significant amount of time. And as you can see now, we're still ahead 2-3, 1 Phoenix to a Langley. So at this point in the match, I figured that was a good trade. We have 6 minutes left. It's completely possible for our battleships to cap if they choose, or they could, in theory, take out and give chase to the remaining enemy vessels. And they should be able to seal the deal. At least that's what I had thought at the time. And As you can see, there's still a significant health advantage in our case, and a significant alpha damage advantage in our favor because of the number of battleship guns on our team. And then we lose our New York. No surprise there. Light cruiser, high explosive rounds. They just burn everything to pieces. So right now, there really isn't an option for our team. There's nobody tying down the Phoenix and the Langley, so the battleships have to sally out and attempt to sink the remaining enemy vessels. So, given that this is 2 Tier 4 vessels versus 2 Tier 4 vessels, this is going to be one of the instances where RNGesus is going to have to smile on us. As we can see, though, our Myogi is not doing particularly great, not particularly bad, but at this point, I'd really like it if he was able to get a good Citadel penetration on that Phoenix, because, well, you know, at this point, I was definitely not feeling the same level of confidence I had had just a few minutes ago, because our Myogi is almost gone, he's back on fire, and it looks like the Phoenix may get away with it. The no good bastard. So here we are, we're looking at both of these vessels, the Phoenix and the Myogi, just pummeling each other to death, and they're both burning. And there goes the Phoenix, and there's a glimmer of hope in my eye again. Come on, guys, load that HE. Yes, I know, you want to just take him out in one salvo with AP, I know. But you can Citadel him with HE and it will put him on fire at the same time. Please, 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 bring the guns to bear. Bring the guns to bear. This isn't going to be the last time that you're going to hear me say something similar to that in this match. But at the very least, we can see that our 2 battleships are working together to try to take out the remaining Langley. And for those of you who watched my one video on the USS Langley, you will know that this ship is a very trollish vessel to try to engage because of that large open hangar deck below the flight deck. Which means that if you're engaging a Langley in a battleship, even when your dispersion is not trollish, you can have something that goes right on target and then just pass clean straight through the Langley and do absolutely nothing. And you're going to see that, well, you probably saw a few shells from our Myogi do that, but that won't be the last time this match you see that occur. So now it's just Wyoming versus the Langley. Now, in theory, this should be a victory for us. But as you all know, theory and reality never meet eye to eye, especially in a wargaming product. This is not the fault of wargaming. This is the fault of the players. But more on that later. Now, you can see that our Wyoming isn't having a terrible time engaging this Langley. The Langley is too slow to disappear from sight, and the Wyoming is, at the moment, keeping, it looks like, the majority of his 6 turrets on target, and is ripple firing quite nicely, and has managed to reduce that Langley from about mid 20,000 health range to about 7,000 health at the moment. And it's at this moment in time that the glimmer of hope that we'd win this match came back to life in me, because you can see that the Langley is now sub 5,000 health, and so long as this torpedo bomber squadron doesn't do something like hit the magazine of this Wyoming, we should do fairly well. We should be able to pick this up. But remember that whole thing about this being a wargaming product? Yeah, you might want to keep that in the back of your mind. So right now, our Wyoming has managed to dodge that automatic drop from the Langley. But right now, he's only firing at him with his front two turrets. Turn! Turn, please! Turn! You're not gonna do it with just those two turrets and half a minute left. Come on, turn, turn, turn. No, turn. There we go. No, more, 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 more. Come on, come on. 15 seconds. Go, go, go. Fire. Come on, come on. Get those guns onto target. Come on, come on. Okay, those one previous ones went right through that open hangar. Come on. Oh, and it's a draw. So that brings me to a short tip of the day for everyone, and that's to maintain your situational awareness in World of Warships. I don't just mean like where other ships are, both allied and enemy ships, but also keep in mind the positioning of your own vessel and which guns you can bring to bear on a target at a time. Might be able to spare yourself this type of heartache, as this was uh, this one was hard to eat. We did so well, and it was drawed out with 209 health left on that enemy Langley. So we didn't do too badly that match. 122,000 credits on a draw. With the free XP, we broke about 1,300 or so, maybe 1,400 experience for all of our work that match. No surprise that we finished top of the team list in terms of experience earned. We sunk 2 ships, got a few nice little medals as well. That enemy Phoenix, well played to him. Well played. So I didn't save the damage results screen from this match because I was just feeling like utter crap after this. So I only remembered to take the first two. This was sad. It was sad. So once again, I'd like to thank you for having bared with me for the better part of 23 minutes or so. I hope that this was both educational and a little eye-opening about some of the more unique Japanese heavy cruiser tactics that you can employ from the Furutaka onwards. I hope that they serve you well in battle when you use them correctly. If you have any questions regarding this video, something you saw in this video, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to answer any questions you might have. If this content or other content on this channel interests you, please consider subscribing. I plan to kind of stick with this form of content for a while, as it's what's interesting me at the moment. I suspect that my next video will be something from World of Tanks. We'll see. I'd like to now close out the video in my now somewhat customary way. Thank you. Good day.